We want to thank Eli Edgar for sponsoring this event and taking care of all the delicious food from Sushi Meshune. Meshune? Meshune? Meshuga? Sushi Meshuga? I asked him 3 times. He didn't know how to say Meshuga. He only knows positive words. Yeah.
It's an epidemic. Everybody's doing positive things now.
Yeah. It's called negative attention. It's working sometimes. So Eli and his wife is a good example for all of us how to push Torah, to sponsor events, to host events. Every Jew has an obligation. Most Jews forget that they have to host events and bring their friends to hear Torah lectures. We are in Hanukkah, second night already. It's a very, very sad day today. Hanukkah is supposed to be a very happy Chag. 8 beautiful days. But today there's a very big tragedy happening in Israel today as we speak. They didn't finish yet. And supposedly already 70 people died, and who knows how many it's going to be in the end. So basically a large portion of the country is burning. They don't know what to do. They ask the world to come and help them to put the fire off, because the fire department in Israel is not set for such big tragedy. They don't have enough material to put the fire off. They ran out of it. They evacuate thousands of homes. The whole north is burning. Us as Jews who try to follow the Torah and always understand what Hashem wants from us, first thing come to our mind, I hope that you were clever enough to see that when Hashem punished with fire, you can see right away where it comes from. As a matter of fact, I just came back from Israel 2 days ago. I was there for a week. Before that I was in Europe, then I went to Israel. Me personally, I had a very successful trip there, because I spoke in different places and everywhere was packed, and I got to a lot of new people that I never knew who I am before, and promoted my website and the CDs. So for me it was a very good, also a great Shabbaton. But one thing I paid attention to is that when I went to some of the cities in the north, my cousins were telling me that now there is a new epidemic in Israel. Jewish girls going out with Arabs, routine. But it's not Arabs like we used to imagine from 20, 30 years ago that speak with Arabic accent. This is Arabs who born already in Israel. When they want to speak in Israeli accent, they speak in Israeli accent. They dress like Israelis, they have earrings, and they look completely like every other person. And that's what's happening. I thought to myself, maybe it's the Russian immigrants that anyway more than 80% of them are Goyim. Goyim, Russian with Arabs, Goy with Goy, it's no problem. But, you know, sometimes you have a wishful thinking. I was hoping that that's the case, but it's not only the case. When there are sex crimes in the land, fire is coming. You should know that. All the punishments in the Torah that relates to fire relates to relation crimes. An engaged woman that cheated on her husband, you know, she gets actually stoning. A married woman, Eshet Ish, it's burning. Eshet Ish is burning. And all the other, it's a serious thing. It's a serious problem in the Torah. All the restrictions that we read in Parashat Acharei Mot, we read it in Yom Kippur in the Mincha, all the warnings about forbidden relationship, and the punishment for that is Srefa. We saw 2 weeks ago in the Parasha that Tamar, she is the daughter-in-law of Judah. she was covering her face, pretending she's a prostitute. And, you know, when finally they were told Judah that this is your kala, what did he say right away? Take her to burn her. Why not to stone her? Why not to choke her? There are 4 different kinds of execution. Burning. Why burning? Because that's the kind of sins that they deserve burning. When you see Hashem burns a place, that's the reason. Every one of us has to understand. You know, when the parties are mixed, when guys and girls are not tzanua, not modest, these are the kind of tragedies who come to our nation. It can happen in Israel, it can happen to the community here. Prior to this huge fire, I don't know if you remember, there were 2 major fires that burned Sifrei Torah. 11 Torah were burning in Vishnitz. 11 Sifrei Torah just got burned in a whole building. And there were a few other fires in synagogues. We did not wake up. This major tragedy came. Chas v'shalom, if this will not wake us up, this should have already waken us up. If this won't wake us up, who knows what's going to be next? Tomorrow it can be a war. The whole country can go on fire. They have enough missiles in 5 minutes to burn the entire country. You know, if you shoot 3,000 Scud missiles in Israel, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to explode gases and bombs and all kinds of places. What are we going to do next? We're going to call Greece to come and help us? Cyprus? Turkey? Who should we rely on? The nation of Israel is different than all the other nations. It's true that Hashem punished the Goyim as well. You see, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, all kinds of problems. And when he punished them, it's much, much bigger number of casualties. If there's an earthquake in Iran, so it's 70,000 people. If there's a tsunami, it's 500,000 people. By us, this is perhaps the biggest tragedy in the history of Israel since it became a state. And we are talking so far 70, we are talking in hundreds. We're not talking in thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands. But for the value of every Jew count like many, many other Goyim. In his spiritual value, even you take righteous Goyim and you put them compared to one righteous Jew, one Jew can be equal like thousands of righteous Goyim. If you put them on a scale, spiritually. Also, one religious Jew is equal like more than 1,000 secular Jews that hardly make any mitzvot, because the amount of mitzvot that he keeps in the world, he brings salvation to the Jewish nation more like 1,000 other Jews that make sins and bring tragedies. So this is what we say in Shir HaShirim, Dodi arad legano lilkot shoshanim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes to the garden full of thorns and he pick up the rose. Why? He take one rose instead of 1,000,000 thorns. This is the value of this is the righteous kids, the righteous people. So today we decided, before we knew what's going to take place, when we made up the lecture, we decided to speak about the Jews and the Greeks of this generation. 2,400 years ago, they were the empire of Greece. They occupied major parts of the world. And it bothers them very much that there is a tiny nation somewhere in Jerusalem, that they have a temple. And they knew that as long as these Jews are shining, their light is shining and rising, that shows about how fake we are. What's the best way to make ourselves look important? We have to destroy them. As long as they're around, it's like a bone in a throat. A person ate fish, something stuck in his throat, is choking. Why? You got to get rid of it. So, like they say in English, a pin in the neck. You know, as long as they're around, how can we present all our idols and all our fake gods when these Jews are here for already more than 1,000 years? Remember, this is about 1,000 years after the Jews received the Torah. 1,000 years, it's plenty of time. The Torah was published all over the world. So they come to Yerushalayim to destroy Bet HaMikdash. But they are not the first ones. This is after Babel, after Babylon. Babylon already destroyed the Bet HaMikdash of Shlomo HaMelech. Shlomo HaMelech built the first Mikdash. After 410 years, it was destroyed by the Babylonians. Now this is the second temple, which later will be destroyed by the Romans after 420 years. But in between, the Greeks come and they make all the oils impure, tameh. What's the difference between the Romans and the Babylonians to the Greeks? What's the difference? The Babylonians and the Romans, when they came, they wanted to destroy everything. The Greeks didn't come to kill the Jews. It's not like Haman. Haman made a decree, like Hitler. Same story. We got to get rid of all Jews on earth. Boys, girls, old, young, babies, doesn't matter. Everyone who relates to Judaism, we have to exterminate them. The Greeks didn't come like this. They said, we want you to be like us. We welcome you. We will help you to get a good job. We'll give you a green card, a Greek card. That's what they said. If you learn exactly how it used to be, mamash like a political issue. So they said, just come be like us. All you have to say is one sentence, that you have no share in the God of Israel. No part in the God of Israel. We never touch you. You have protection from us. We will help you in anything you need. We are very wealthy. We can help many, anyone who needs help, we can help you. We'll give you Social Security. We'll give you benefits. We'll give you health insurance. Whatever you want, you get from us. All you have to do is to write on the horn of your ox, I don't have a part in the God of Israel anymore. That's called mityavnim. Mityavnim. What is it like today? I'm giving you an example. Let's say you are a Sephardic, natural Sephardic. Even if you are a Talmid Chacham and you have good kids, it will be very, very difficult to get your kids into yeshiva in Bnei Brak. Why? As soon as they hear your last name, they start to make excuses. That's the situation. The truth must be said. So I know one guy, he was trying to do everything he can to sound and look Ashkenazi, but there was only one problem. His last name was Lankri. They know right away, Lankri is Moroccan. Moroccan are not welcome here. So every yeshiva he was trying to put his kids, they don't accept them. They tell him, we have no application. We don't have application. Out of desperation, he went and changed his name to Kellerman. And he called the same yeshivot, and he told them, I want to put my kids in your yeshiva. What's your last name? Kellerman. Okay, come tomorrow morning with your wife and fill up the papers. Same people who told them there's no room, 2 days later, he changed a little bit his voice, Kellerman, okay, you are welcome. He looks Ashkenazi. Many Moroccans look light with blue eyes, so he didn't have that problem. Anyway, he learns by Litvish Yeshiva, is a Baal Tshuva, so he's okay. He went there, Mr. Kellerman, sign here, sign here. This is in Israel there's no tuition like here. And he got in. When the problem arose, a year later he had a baby boy, and he invited some of the rabbis. In the middle of the brit, his grandmother started to go, kulululululu. She didn't know that she's supposed to be Kellerman. She's still angry. And everybody found out. You're laughing and I'm crying that we got to this situation. That's called lehishtaknez, meshuknaz. When I was coming here on a plane, one lawyer was sitting next to me, believe it or not, also a Talmid Chacham. Before I knew he's a lawyer, I was following what he writes. And I saw right away, he knows Torah, this guy. He has books, he takes from his bag, another book, put it back, take another book, writes, make comments. I was impressed by him. And later we started to talk. So he's a lawyer. He takes his kids, there's Hanukkah in Israel, 8 days off. You know? So he takes his kids to Orlando, to Disney, to see a little bit, you know, some of the nonsense over there. So he asked me questions about his connection. Now, you know, he's in New York, he has 3 hours, will he make it, you know? And then how we started to talk, and I told him that I live here, and where I live. He said, oh, so your kids are already meshuknazim, he says. That's why you cannot come back to Israel. They're already Americanized. So this is a term. Same thing, we have this term today. There was a term in those days, mityaven, a Jew that became a Greek. How you become a Greek? First thing you do, you join the gym. Cannot be a Greek without joining the gym. Why? Rule number 1 by the Greeks is they're worshipping their bodies. It has to be muscular, you have to be an athlete, you have to be strong, you have to put oil on your skin and on your hair and make it beautiful curl and put some flowers here. Yeah, because their body is their God. So if you're going to look like a Jew with a little belly that you sit and learn Gemara for 20 years, you know, after 20 years you have a belly. You know, you're not working out. You're not welcome by them. Right away they put you in a special program to lose weight, to become muscular. Then you join their circus. The word sport comes from Sparta. It's a city in Greece, Sparta. They invented sport. When your life is empty, you're always busy inventing new things to entertain yourself. Why? Because out of emptiness, you have nothing in your life. You don't have spirituality. They have all their foolish God, the God of love, the God of the water, the God of the fire. It's all nonsense. It's human invented all this nonsense. What these gods can do. Enaim lahem velo yiru. We read today in Hallel, no? You went to Shachrit today? What are we saying? David HaMelech hot in Hallel. Enaim lahem velo yiru. Oznaim lahem velo yishmau. Af lahem velo yerichun. They look exactly like us. They have eyes, they have ears, they have mouths. They cannot see, they cannot hear, they cannot speak. Nothing. Remember the story that I once said about this pasuk. One Jew had a tough time making a living. After trying to go to all the babot, he didn't know that all these babot are all fake. So he was going from one baba to the other, and parnasa are not coming. Sometimes when Hashem sees that people go to special babot, all these famous babot, and depending on them and hoping they will bring me my salvation in my parnasa, Hashem make the parnasa worse. You cannot stand foolish people. You should know that. You want Hashem to help you, you have to develop your brain. It's not my words, it's the words of the Rambam. The Rambam holds that the free choice that we have, none of the animals have free choice. We are the only one who have free choice. The free choice is not the purpose. It's the tool that God gave us to reach our purpose. Which means, since we have a free choice, we have to use it to develop and make our sechel, our intelligence, greater and greater. If we stay foolish, if we stay ignorant, we fail in our life. That's why many times Chazal say, someone who doesn't have da'at, en lo klum, he has nothing in his life. He can have buildings, he can have successful businesses, he can be handsome, he can have a beautiful wife, he can have a lot of nice houses. In reality, he's a complete zero. Because the purpose of life is to develop your intelligence. The smarter you become, I'm not talking about math and knowing the history of the Greek or the Egyptians. There's no benefits by knowing this nonsense. When I say intelligence, I mean to develop your understanding about life. What's the Torah? What's the purpose? What's the afterlife? What does it mean a whole way? That this world is a whole way for life of eternity. What does it mean life of eternity? How do you get to the highest level possible? This is the opportunity you have here. Many of us are very foolish. We behave foolish. We do stupid things. We hear that there is a group of people that dance on the street. Supposedly they're happy, so we right away run and admire them. Then we hear about another group that take a rabbi and made him God. so right away we take their pictures and put it in our living room. We don't understand the damage that it makes to our life, worshipping an idol, even though he has a beard and pears. We don't understand this. We have to be very careful. In our Torah, it's very, very specific that there is one God and nothing else. Everything else is to serve the purpose. We have one Hashem. Worshipping Hashem through a middleman brings us sometimes more problems than helping us. And you should know, that many of us, since we develop so much expectation in people, Hashem let us become slaves of these people. And these people take advantage on us, take away our faith, take away our money, and in the end we crash to pieces. And then we have complaints against the religion. When we have complaints, we cannot do anything against these people. Who are we complaining against? The religion of Hashem. When the religion told us, be careful, you have to stay away from middlemen. We are not Christianity here, that you have to connect to Hashem through J.C. Penney. That's not Christianity here. And many of us behave like Christians without realizing. We may be Shomer Shabbat, we may be dressed modest, we may do a lot of kindness and give charity, but I know many Christians who just does as well. They dress modest, they believe in God, they give charity, they visit the sick in a hospital, but they believe that God has a son, and they pray to him, and that's why they have no share to the world to come, just because of that. What makes us think that we're better than them? Judaism means there's one God. That's rule number one. It's the first commandment. And nobody else, as righteous as he may be, is a second God. People are people, and God is God. And it's about time we have to understand it. It's not a problem that we go to rabbis that we know that they're holy, they learn a lot of Torah, and they can give us good advice. That's what Hashem told us, to get an advice, to ask questions, to learn. But to worship him, already it's a red line. Red line. And many people don't understand what does it mean to ask a specific figure to pray for you or to give you a blessing than to make him your second God. The Ramban, he wrote a very, very famous book. It's called Sha'ar HaGmul. It's all Kabbalah. It's all about the afterlife. And the Ramban writes that there are figures that they are in charge of communities, that when they die, they go to hell and they'll never come out of there for eternity. Even that they taught their public, their community, to keep Torah and mitzvot. And still they have no share to the world to come. How can it be? The words of the Ramban is not a rabbi in our generation. If you take all the rabbis in the world combined, you cannot reach the level of the Ramban 750 years ago. It's a legendary Kabbalist, all the Torah by heart from right to left, from left to right. All the Kabbalah, all the Midrashim, all the Halachot, everything like a computer. Besides his holiness in his life. And this is what he writes. And now how can it be? And he explained his words. Why? Because the people, when they kept the mitzvot, they aimed to satisfy that leader and not Hashem. Why you keep Shabbos? If my Rebbe will know I'm not Shomer Shabbos, I'll never have a shidduch. If you know I'm not Shomer Shabbos, no customers will come to my store. They'll put a sign on the street that I'm Mechalel Shabbat. No more business. Or, how can I look at my Rebbe's face? He raised me, he taught me Torah, he's going to find out I'm Mechalel Shabbat. What about Hashem? What about Hashem? Where is Hashem in a picture? Yeah, Hashem, of course Hashem. But it's him. When his Rebbe is around, he faints from excitement. When Hashem is around, he makes sins without thinking twice. In front of Hashem, everywhere he goes. But if he finds out that his Rebbe is coming for a visit, for 3 days he's going to clean the house for him. And Hashem comes for a visit, nothing. You understand how a person can make a critical mistake and become an Oved Avodah Zarah without realizing? Putting all the efforts in religion, and in the end he comes to Hashem, and Hashem say, you violated the first commandment in my Torah, in the 10 Commandments. What is it? You should not have any other God. I'm not talking about the stupid people that their God is some kind of a basketball player, that they put his pictures everywhere and kiss it, and if they see him on the street, they'll pay $10,000 to touch his hand. This is not normal people. We're not talking about this, or some kind of musician that knows how to play guitar. We're not talking about them. These people have no understanding what they breathe for. I'm talking only now to people who understand the purpose of life. We have Torah. This is a ticket for eternity. What does it mean to follow Hashem? So I started to tell you a story about that Jew that went to all these babot, and he saw that Parnasa did not come. So he decided to go to the church. So what do I have to lose? Maybe over there the priest will do something for me. They say that the church has a lot of money, you know. Over here, every Baba I went to, he say, put some money in a bag or in a jar and I'll pray for you. Over there, maybe he'll give me something. So he went to the church. It was in the middle of the day. The church was closed. The door is open, there's nobody there. He went inside. He saw a big statue of JC over there. So he went inside. You see, no one is there. He saw a beautiful chandelier over there. 12 pieces of gold in the chandelier. Each piece is heavy. He said, wow, all I need to do is to get my hand on these 12 pieces of gold and I'm set for life. How do I get there? He saw a ladder over there. Put the ladder, he climbed, he took all the 12 pieces out, he put them in a bag and left. Then the priest came. He saw the chandelier is not yellow anymore. Right away he realized what happened. He went to the king to tell him. This is the main church in town. So they sit together. They say, of course it's the Jews. What Christian will do such a thing, stealing from the house of God? You know. So he says, you know what? Call the rabbi of the Jews, give him an ultimatum. If in 1 week he does not return back to the chandelier, all of them have to leave the country. We kick them out of here. They leave all their houses, their businesses, everything. The poor rabbi come back to his community and say, gentlemen, whoever did it, please, you must return it, because not it's all of us gonna have to leave our places here. Where are we gonna go now? So one guy got up and said, Rabbi, it's me. I took it. He said, just like that? You took it? He said, yeah, what's the problem? You worry? Don't worry. Let me speak to the king and the priest. I promise you I'll take care of business. I said, okay, okay, my son, God be with you. He went there. He comes to them. He said, I'm the one who took it. So right away the priest tells the king, don't believe him. These Jews, one of them sacrificed himself to save all the others. You really believe that it's him? Look at him. He would come like this, smiling. I took it. So he said to him, hey, you don't believe me? Here is my address. Go to my home. You see 11 pieces under my mattress. So the priest said, hey, 12. Don't lie. It's 12. He said, no, one I already sold. I got food for my family, for Pesach, for Shavuot. One I already used. So the king said, and you're not afraid to come like this? Because you know, if it's true what you say, all your community will have to leave everything they own and leave the country. So he said to him, I don't understand why you're upset. I came to the church, I was looking for you, you were not here. And then I started to say to God, God help me, I need to feed my children. And then I saw JC over there standing on the stage. He told me, come up to me, my son. Come up to me. What do you need? So I said to him, you know, no business, no food. The rabbis didn't help. Maybe you can help. He said, of course, my son. We're all brothers, no? Here you go. Get from the chandelier. There are 12 pieces for you. It's enough for you for 12 years to live. So I told him, I'm very sorry. I cannot reach. It's too high. He said, why do you worry? I'm an angel, no? He went like this from the stage. He got me the pieces. He gave it to me. He blessed me. And he sent me home. What did I do wrong? The king looked at the priest looked at the king. The entire Christian community are watching. So the king said to the priest, let me speak to you in my room over there. I went to the back. He said, you know what this Jew is pulling here, no? If we say, what is this nonsense? He cannot move, you know. Then he's going to say, what kind of God is this? He cannot move. We have a problem here now. We have to pretend that we believe the story. Forget about the money. We'll worry. We'll take care of that money. But the prestige here, you know. So you have to go back and tell him, no problem. We're very happy that our God took care of you. And that was the end of it. That's what David HaMelech wrote. Einayim lahem velo yiru, aznayim. They stand over there like a statue. They come. They put all kinds of things in front of the statue. We are not foolish like this. But sometimes we do things that are even worse than this. This is what David HaMelech wrote in Tehillim. Al tiftechu b'nedivim. Don't put your trust in generous people. Yeah, they're generous. They like to help. If you think that they are the one who sponsor you, you are wrong. It all comes from Hashem. When Hashem wants you to have money, you'll find the money. When Hashem doesn't want you to find the money, nothing will help you. Hanukkah is a very strange holiday in our time. Why it's a strange holiday? Because the people who are supposed to celebrate it a lot, not celebrating it so much. And the people who are supposed to cry on that day, they make big party out of it. Everything is the opposite. What do I mean? The religious people, Hanukkah is a very, very significant holiday. This is a miracle that Hashem saved a group of righteous people from millions of people, from the biggest empire in the world. They could not defeat few hundred Jews who loved Hashem and fought and gave their life for the truth. And such miracle happened, and the Greeks left them alone and they surrendered to them. It's nothing like this ever happened in history. Even the 6 Days Wars, when everyone speak about it, the Israeli army defeated all 7 Arab armies with so many tanks and soldiers and this. In 6 days they defeated them so bad. In schools of war here in the United States, they send generals from all over the world to learn combats, to fly, airplanes. They don't speak about that war. Why? They say this is all miracle. We cannot teach in school based on miracles. The Goyim admit that war was a whole miracle. It doesn't happen in reality. What happened over there? But even that, it's a peanut compared to what happened in Hanukkah 2,400 years ago. Peanut. So we should have make it a whole 8 days party, non-stop praying and praising and singing for Hashem non-stop. In reality, who makes a lot of parties in Israel? The Chilonim, the secular Jews. And I always ask this question, I don't understand. How is it possible that people who hardly believe in Hashem, some of them claim that they don't believe, some of them say they believe but they don't listen. One thing everybody understands, they don't keep the mitzvot. What exactly is the reason for their parties? Hanukkah, it's a sign that Hashem helped the righteous, the religious, the frum, the Orthodox Jews to defeat those who went with the Greeks against the Torah. So now, those are against the Torah celebrating Hanukkah. They should cry in Hanukkah. Should be 8 days of mournings for them. Why? Our ideology went bankrupt. Hanukkah, it's a sign that everything that we are saying today, you should work, why are you sitting in yeshiva and learning, why do you trust God, you think God's going to save you, and all this nonsense that we hear from them every day, every hour, went bankrupt. In reality, they make a party. They light candles, they make a bracha, they put a napkin on a head, they make a bracha. Yeah, everywhere you go. Yes. Even the most anti-religious people in the Knesset, they light menorah. Hard to believe. I don't understand how a person that hates the Torah can say Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam. Think about it. It's like someone who hates Islam. Every day speaks against Islam. All of a sudden there's some Muslim holiday, comes to the mosque. Doesn't make sense. They stand over there in front of the car. Asher קידשנו מצוותיו וציווה להדליק נר חנוכה. קידשנו במצוותיו? Mitzvot? You believe in the mitzvot? One of them, she's not anymore in the Knesset, but she's still alive. Rabbi Ovadia Yosef said that she's a Gilgul of Izebel. You know Izebel, the wife of Achav? She was a very wicked woman, a queen. So one time in the Knesset, one of the religious members of the Knesset, he was speaking on a stage there in the Knesset, and she got up and said, you know, if I was your wife, I would make you tea and put poison inside. So he told her, if I was your husband, I would drink that tea right away. Better to die than to be your husband. Now, let's see some of the secrets of Hanukkah inside the Torah. Where does the Torah speak about Hanukkah? First, we should ask, is it possible that the Torah that was given to us 900 years before the story of Hanukkah, is it possible that the Torah is speaking about Hanukkah? 900 years before Hanukkah? Of course it's possible. 99.999% of the Torah is to the future. If you read the Torah, it's full of prophecies, full of guarantees, codes, secrets, gimatriot, so many secrets, everything for the future. Everything for the future. All the prophecies, some of them happen already and some of them will happen. It's all in the Torah way before the time. This is the only book who speaks mainly about the future, because it's the only divine book in the world. No other book is divine except the Torah. No Quran, no Christianity, no Buddhism, none of them speaks about the future. Why? People like us wrote it. Less than us. We're not that dumb. You understand? If you take a first grade kid and tell him to fake a book, he will write a better book than the Quran and the New Testament. Why? His knowledge should be enough to make less mistakes. So many mistakes over there, that's probably somebody 3 years old wrote it. With his intelligence. Such mistake, Haman and Pharaoh sat together. All kinds of nonsense. So where does the Torah speaks about it? First, after the Torah speaking about the holidays, after Sukkot, what comes? Chanukah. They're speaking about Be'alotcha. Be'alot Aaron, Nerot, ala menorah. Speaking about menorah and candles. That's a hint. That's a hint. But if you count the words in the Torah from Bereshit, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz, count 25 words, what do you get? The word Or. How do you call Chanukah? Chag Aurim, the light, the holiday of the light. What's the 25th word of the Torah? Or. Why 25th? Chanukah, it's the 25th days of Kislev. Chanukah, Chaf Hei Bekislev. Chanu, Kaf Hei. Chanukah. That's the secret. In Tehillim, we have a very interesting verse. What does it say? Apach nishbar v'anachnu nimlatnu. Did you hear that? Apach nishbar v'anachnu nimlatnu. What does it mean, pach? Pach, it's abbreviation. It's abbreviation of Purim Chanukah. Purim Chanukah. What's special about Purim and Chanukah? What's special? These are the two holidays that were made by Rabbanan, not by the Torah. The Torah didn't say to celebrate Chanukah. The Torah didn't say to celebrate Purim. Who say it? The Chachamim. Chachamim made Chanukah and Purim. Based on the miracle of Purim with Haman, based on the miracle with Chanukah, with Antiochus and the Greeks and then Yehuda Maccabi and all that. What does it mean, Maccabi? Mi kamocha ba'elim Hashem. Mi, mem, kamocha chaf, ba'elim bet, Hashem yud. Today it's 5 black Americans that play basketball in Tel Aviv. I heard one of them is Greek. Black and Greek. I didn't know the Greeks that are blacks, but apparently they are. So, what's the difference between the miracle of Purim and Chanukah? Who knows? What's the difference? The difference is the dreidel How do you say Rashanim? That make Gragers? Gragers? Gragers. Oh, wow, I can't believe I remember it from last year. The Gragers and the Dreidels. The Gragers and the Dreidels are telling us the difference between Purim and Chanukah. Spiritual difference. What's the difference? The decree of Purim was to destroy the bodies. Body, it's the physical world. Right? That's why, what do we do in Purim? Gregers, the energy comes from the bottom. Purim, Chanukah was a decree, a spiritual decree, to destroy the Torah. The Torah comes from heaven, from Hashem. The Greeks wants to destroy the religion. Dreidel, the energy comes from the top. But it gets better. It's the same way we have a hint in the Torah about Chanukah, we have a hint about Purim. Who knows what the hint in the Torah about Purim? Where does the Torah speak about Mordechai and Esther? Now I'm going to shock you. Pay attention good. How many words we have, how many letters we have in the Megillah, Megillat Esther? How many letters? Did you count once before or no? You have other things to do in your life, you say, huh? In America they say time it's money. To count the letters of the Megillah, you're talking 2 days, from morning to night. 2 days, it could be $1,000, no? Doesn't work. The whole Megillah doesn't cost $1,000. So, 12,196 letters. No, what's the significance of this number? If you count from the beginning of the Torah, from the first Aleph, Bereshit, has Aleph inside. Circle that Aleph, count 12,196 letters, what are you going to get? Samech. Count again, 12,196 letters, what are you going to get? Taf. Again, 12,196, you get Resh. Esther, Megillat Esther, Esther, in skips of 12,196, which is the number of the letters in the Megillah. For sure it's not coincidence, in case you thought. It's all planned. But it gets even better. How can you speak about Esther without Mordechai? Esther and Mordechai, it's like a body without a heart. It doesn't work that much. It's a team. The Gemara asks in Masechet Chulin, page Kuf Lametet. The Gemara asks, Mordechai mina Torah minayin. Where does the Torah speak about Mordechai? What more? Mordechai is 900 years after the Torah. How the Torah speaks about Mordechai? For the Chachamim it was obvious. What's the question? The Torah, it's a divine book. It can speak about the future as much as it wants. So the question is, where is Mordechai in the Torah? The answer is, in the Torah, there is a pasuk in Shmot Lamed, Exodus 30, pasuk Chav Gimel, in Parashat Ki Tisa. What does it say? Ve'ata kach lecha besamim rosh Mar Dror. This is the pasuk. Mar Dror, Mar Dachya, the Gemara say, Mordechai. His name is Mordechai after this pasuk. Why? It's talking about good perfumes. The smell of heaven. Mordechai was important. Was the leader of the nation of Israel. As much as Mordechai was important, the Megillah says in the end, Mordechai ratzui lerov echav. Ma ze rov? To the majority of his brothers. Why not everyone? Because the Chachamim in Sanhedrin, they were holding one thing against him. What is it? That you leave the yeshiva too much. Since you're a political leader, and you're going to Achashverosh, you're going in, you're going out, you're going to take care of problems, you have to leave the yeshiva too much, we're not happy. Why? A Chacham belongs in the yeshiva and sit and learn Torah. Even though he's busy saving the whole nation, the fact that he's learning a little bit less Torah than the rest, Ratzui lerov echav, not to all echav. Some of them were not satisfied. So where does the Torah speaks about Mordechai? If you count from the mem of Mardachia, the Gemara say Mardachia is Mordechai. Mardachia. Mordror. From the mem of Mor, you circle the mem, you count 12,196 letters, you get Resh. You count 12,196 letters, you get Daled. 12,196 Dalet, 12,196 Yud, Mordechai. Esther and Mordechai in equal skip of 12,196. Any other skip is just as beautiful, no? If it would be a skip of 1,000, it would be a skip of 500, equal skip. A skip of 50. Either skip, you see, it's a plan. It's not coincidence. But Hashem wanted the skip to be the same amount of letters like in Megillat Esther. Double connection. Not only it's equal skip, it's also speaking about Megillat Esther. One woman, she came to a seminar many years ago, and this chidush that I just told you, Rabbi Dr. Greenwald, Yaakov Greenwald, which lived many years in Brooklyn, and he was connected to the biggest Chachamim, among them the Stipler, the father of Rav Chaim Kanievsky, and also Rav Weissmandel in Europe. Rav Weissmandel is the one who, thanks to him, we found the discoveries of the codes. Today we have codes in the Torah with a computer. But he saw codes before there were computers in the world, 50, 60, 70 years ago. He already saw codes in the Torah. He had a photographic vision on the Torah. Everything he sees, remembers, he's able to count. Some kind of gift. So he said that chidush I just told you to Rav Yaakov Greenwald. And one time there was a woman, an intelligent woman from the university. She came to a seminar. The entire seminar she argued with the speakers. And in the end they asked her to come to Monsey to see what the Shabbos is. Since she's so intelligent, they decided to put her by a doctor, which is a big psychologist also. They put her by Dr. Greenwald, and he told her that thing that I just told you. And then she said, if that's true, I'm going to go and count. If it's true, I surrender. There's no other way. The Torah has to be divine, if it's true. The whole Shabbat, from Friday night, she didn't go to sleep. She was counting letter by letter, and she told him, I count Esther. The next day she counted Mordechai. She came, she said, that's today. She's a Rebbetzin. She has kids in yeshivot. She became a very, very religious woman. The beauty of the Torah, if you know how to present it to the ignorance, right away it attracts their eyes. It doesn't mean they're going to change. Here comes the choice. Some of them choose to see the truth, put it on a shelf, and go back to steal. One ganav, one thief, comes to the shul to pray to Hashem. So he comes to Aron HaKodesh. You know how all the seculars, when they come to shul, what's the first thing they do? They come to the parochet. They think it's the Kotel HaMa'aravi. They go like this. I had a guy like this in my shul. First thing he comes on Shabbat to the shul, I see right away he comes and stands 10 minutes like this. So when he finished, I told him, did you hear the screaming? He said, screaming? Very quiet here. I said, you didn't hear, huh? I said, say what? He said, the Torah is screaming. Screaming what? He says. Don't kiss me, listen to me. I'm not interested in your kisses. If you kiss me, it's only after you listen to me. That's what a wife should say to her husband. Honey, you want to kiss me? First you have to listen to me. You don't listen to me, I'm not interested in your kisses and your flowers and your perfumes and your pearls. First listen to me. Depends who's the wife also. Some wife, if you listen to them, I don't want to tell you where you're going to be. It all depends. So anyway, what other things we find about Chanukah in the Torah in the Gemara? Let's see some of the interesting things here. When we go to get married, the custom is that the Khatan and the Kala are holding candles. Why? What's the connection between candles and getting married? You see how they come to the chuppah, they hold candles like this, they come. What's the... Huh? The or is always good. Or it's for sure good. Well, what's the connection between or to a wedding? The secret is, we know that a man has 248 organs. And a woman has 252 organs. How much together? Man and a woman together. How many? 500. Gematria ner. Numeric value ner. Candle. So what's this? So, when a man and a woman unites together, the Torah says, "V'ayu lebasar echad." They become one body, one entity, one soul. 252 and 248 together, 500. Ner. What's the significance of Ner? The Torah says like this: Ner Adam nishmat chaim. Ner Adam, candle is a man. It's a living soul. Why they always compare the soul to a candle? When they pray, they light candle. When the soul dies, they light candle. What's the connection? You go to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, thousands of candles. You go to the shuls, the shtibos, thousands of candles. What's the connection between candles and the soul? Same thing as soul, you can cut the soul to as many pieces as you want and the soul doesn't lose its value. Hashem can take one soul and put it in 1,000 bodies. And each part of the soul needs a different correction. Part of the soul needs to be poor, so they put him in a body of a poor person. A part of the soul needs to be rich, he puts it in a body of a rich person. A part of the soul has to be a man. Part of it has to be a woman. Part of it has to be here, parts of it have to suffer, parts of it has to learn Torah. Hashem split, it's called nitzotzot, sparks, the soul to as many bodies as he needs according to the correction that person has to do. Same thing light. If you take fire from the candle to another 1,000 candles, you still have the same amount of fire. It never decreased the amount of fire. You take another one, and take another one, you still always have the same thing. Anything else that you take out, like you have 1 kilo, you took half a kilo, now you have half a kilo. You took another half, you have a quarter. You took another half, you have an 1/8, until you have nothing. But over here, fire, you can take as much as you want. It stays always complete. I want to ask you a question. The sun, the light of the sun, is it spiritual or physical? What is it? Rain, it's physical or spiritual? Rain? Rain is physical. We use it for spiritual things. But water, it's physical. Sand is physical. Wood is physical. Our body is physical. What's the light? What's the speed of light? You know the speed of light?
Yeah, 1,000.
300,000 kilometers per second.
Yeah, that's exactly.
300,000.
About miles.
Oh, okay. 300.
That'll make it 1,250.
1,250 what?
Miles per hour.
186,000 miles per hour.
186,000 miles per hour. Fine. For a second. Per second. Per second. Okay. If it would be per hour, we'll do very bad here. Okay. Per second. You know what it means? You turn your flashlight. You want, let's say, you want to see what's on the wall. You turn the flashlight. You wait now. What happened? We're waiting for the light to reach the wall. Life will be very difficult. You know. So. Anyway, why am I telling you about the light? Because it's the holiday of the light. The sun, it's tricky. The speed of light is 300,000 kilometers a second. Now what happened to the light of the sun when it comes and hit the wall? What happened to it? Boom, it hit the wall. Collide, like an accident. The wall and the light, boom. What happened? Some of the light gets stopped. some of it penetrates through the wall and go to the other side. But the interesting thing is, the darker the wall would be, the more it would be able to stop the light. Darkness fights against the light. The darker it is, gray, stop more than white. Black, stop more than gray. It's interesting. But always some of it will penetrate. That's why we say, we have a saying in Hebrew, Me'at min ha'or megaresh harbe min ha'choshech. If you sit in this big, huge synagogue here, and you light one match, this entire huge hall, it's all darkness. One light in the middle, one match, already makes light in the entire room. You can see already people moving, certain things you can see with that. What's this little light compared to so much darkness? Nothing. But it's already making a major improvement. When the light hit the wall and penetrates, it continues to travel on the other side. The biggest miracle that the scientists never found an explanation for it, they don't know what to answer, is that, let's say the light came 300,000 kilometers a second. When it hit the wall, it stopped, it reduced to 100,000 kilometers a second. It reduced the speed. But once it was able to go from the other side, it accelerates by itself back to 300,000. And they don't understand how can it be. Because everything that you throw a ball, the more time passes, the energy of throwing the ball is becoming less and less until the ball will stop. Why? There's no more energy to push it. Everything that is moving, there's an energy who moves it. An airplane, there's a lot of gasoline, it burns, it makes pressure, and that's what pushes the airplanes. Once there's no more energy, the plane falls into the ocean. It cannot continue to travel. The light, not only that it travels by itself, nobody understands where the energy of the speed of light comes from. And when it finally stops, it accelerates by itself to what? To exactly 300,000 kilometers a second. A miracle. How can it be? Hashem. Because light is half physical, half spiritual. That's what it is. It has some of the things like physics, some of the things like 100% spirituality. You mix it together, that's the light. The original light that Hashem created in the world was 100% spiritual, without the sun. It was a regular light. It's called Or HaGanuz. And Hashem took away that light and reserved it for the righteous Jews to the future to come. This light is like Röntgen, like X-rays. You can see from walls. It's amazing, this special light, the Or HaGanuz. We have no understanding what it is, but it's such a great thing that Hashem kept it as a reward for the righteous people for the future to come. So imagine what it's going to be. That was 100% spiritual. Let's move on. In Hanukkah, when we light the candle, we light it with shemen. That's the best way. Olive oil you put, you light it. How many days? 8 days. Shemen, it's the oil. Shmone, it's 8. Shemen, shmone comes from the same root. Shemen, shmone. Also, neshama is the same words. Shmone, if you change the order, neshama. Also Mishnah. That's why when a person passed away, you read Mishnayot for him. Why not Chumash? Learn Chumash. Learn Bereshit bara Elokim. What did they say? Mishnayot. Mishnah, Neshama. Mishnah, Neshama, Shmone, Shemen, all connected. It's no coincidence. Who were the one who started the salvation of the Jews against the Greeks? Who? It was Matityahu, and his 5 sons. Who are they? Yochanan, Elazar, Shimon, Yonatan, Yehuda. When was it? 166 years before the Christian counting. It's like 2,200 years ago. Matityahu passed away in the middle, and his son Yehuda took control. What did he scream? le'Hashem elai. Who loves Hashem, join me. Believe me, he didn't have that many people who joined him. The rest prefer to be Greeks. Nobody touch my business. Nobody touch anyone. I'm free to do whatever I want. So I pretend that I'm a Greek. Later they really became Greeks. There was a person called Holofernes, Imach Shimo, that what did he do? He made a decree that every virgin woman that comes to get married must go through his house first. That she cannot marry to her husband. He has to first be with her, and then this is worse than to kill. For Jews, those who understand the Torah and the value of modesty, it's worse than to get killed. Better to get killed and not feel this shame and horrible feeling than something like this. So what happened? How did we get saved from this wicked person? Yehudit, the daughter of Yochanan Kohen Gadol, and the sister of Matityahu. So means she's the sister of Matityahu. Her husband was Kohen Gadol 80 years until he became wicked in the end. 80 years he was Kohen Gadol in the second temple. 80 years. It's interesting because in the second temple you had him, you had Rabbi Ishmael ben Fabi that was a Kohen Gadol 11 years. And you had Shimon HaTzadik was Kohen Gadol 40 years. So you have 80 and 40 and 40, it's 120, and 11, 131. And then you had Rabbi Elazar ben Charsom, which is famous from the Gemara, also about 11 or 12 years. So about 140 years was 4 Kohanim in Bet HaMikdash. 5, 140. But Bet HaMikdash was 420. So 280 years that left, there was more than 300 Kohanim. Each Kohen did not last even 1 year. They all died in Yom Kippur. Why? Because when you go into Kodesh HaKodashim, it's enough you thinking one bad thought, you fall and you die. Each year a different Kohen. Except those 5 that were righteous all their life, except this Yochanan Kohen Gadol that became wicked after 80 years. 80 years he was a Kohen Gadol. And that's why Chazal said, don't trust yourself until the last breath you take. Because even a minute before you're dead, you can lose everything. Chas v'shalom, God forbid. A person can keep mitzvot all his life, and then before he dies, he make one mistake in his will and he lost his olam haba. If he right to give his money to somebody wicked that will make sins with his money, right away it shows that all his righteousness was all fake. How can you give your money? Imagine you have a chas v'shalom, a son that hates the Torah and fight against the Torah and is a DJ in parties and makes so many people make sins, and then before you die you say, all my money go to my son Esav. You come in front of Hashem, I kept Shabbat. Hashem say yes. I learned Torah. Hashem say yes. I kissed the mezuzah. Hashem say yes. I put tefillin. Yes, yes, yes. In the end, everything, nothing is count. Why? You took your $10 million and gave it to Esav to destroy my Torah? That shows you're a faker. Cannot be you love me. You give my enemies money. You understand the point here or no? Somebody wants to open a club to make sins on Shabbat, guys, girls, cars, cigarette, drinks, making sins. And a religious guy gave him the investment. Can you call him religious after that? Huh? A guy that has a club and some kind of organization wants to make a mixed dancing party in his place, and he allows it. You can call him religious? It's all fake. His God is the money. Comes before God. Right? They gave him $3,000-4,000. Right away, open up his club, serve them. The guys and girls making sin, and he's smiling with his bow tie. But he goes to synagogue, first one. Ashrei Yoshev Betecha. He always start. When it comes to reality, I'm religious, Rabbi. Don't believe me? I donate Sefer Torah to the shul. What do you do in your catering place? Every 2-3 days, Sdom ve'Amorah, and you support it. Why? They pay nice. They pay. And they all have an answer. Rabbi, if they don't do it by me, they do it anyway. That's like the Arabs who drive the terrorists, the suicide bombers. There's always an Arab who drives them. Ahmad, Muhammad. Somebody drives them to Tel Aviv from Gaza. So when they catch him and they give him 15 years in prison, he screams to the camera, "It's not fair. I was only a driver. If it wouldn't be me, somebody else would drive him to kill." Yeah, somebody else would be a murderer. But now you are the murderer. You participate. Yeah, it's true somebody else would do it. But you're the one who did it. What are you complaining about? So Yehudit, she saw that nobody is doing anything, so she decided to do something. She's the aunt of Yehuda Maccabi. She went to meet him. She pretends she's interested in him. How are you? Yeah, you know. She went on a date. They met through the Facebook. Yehudit and Holofernes. After a few exchanging emails, you know, back and forth, you know, with the camera, they saw each other, everything is fine, they checked the references. She went on a date with him. She gave him milk. Milk, what's milk? Because the milk, it's not like today's skim milk, it's all water. Skim milk. Even milk that you drink, it's all water. The real milk, it's very, very thick. One drink, 1 cup of thick milk, 2 minutes later, you're dizzy already. That's why they... Yeah, I'm serious. The milk today, it's all mixed, all kinds of things. The milk that she gave him made him numb. Once he fell, she took an axe and chopped his head off. And she brought his head like this. She put it inside a bag. She came out. When they saw that their head, their king, his head is like this, they lost their energy, all the Greek soldiers, and they started to run away. And that was the beginning of the revolution. One of the things they did, they put a statue inside Bet HaMikdash. Zeus, all kinds of names, depending what language you're speaking. How you say Zeus in Bukharian? The Bukharian never heard of him. They don't have a name for him. Huh? The Bukharians always name good things. Things like this, they take it out of the language. When was the success of the rebellions against the Greeks? When the official win was 165 years before the Greek counting. Remember, when officially Hanukkah started, a year later, after they saw that we won, we got rid of the Greeks. Now we have a famous question. Every kid in first grade already knows about this question. What's the question? After all, when we think about the miracle was only 7 days, not 8 days. Why? When they found the oil, what was the whole idea? What was the whole idea about the oil? It's like the wine. If a goy touch the wine, you cannot put this wine on the mizbeach. Why? It's yain tameh, nesech. Yain nesech. That's why if the bottle is sealed with the ring around it, even if the goy touch it, it's no problem. All the drivers of the Kedem company, it's all goyim. They bring the boxes, they even hold the bottles in their hand. But it's sealed. No tuma goes in. Once you open it up, a goy or a mechalel Shabbos move it, that's it, it's tameh already, you cannot touch it. So, same thing with oil. Oil that you need to light the menorah in Bet HaMikdash has to be sealed. If the goy opened it, that's it, you cannot use it. They went and opened all the oils, except that little bucket with oil, which was supposed to be enough for 1 day, and it lasts for 8 days. The question is, for 1 day, there was no miracle, because there was enough oil. The miracle is for 7 days. Why Hanukkah it's 8 days? It should be 7 days. That's the question. You understand? What's the answer?
The miracle that they found it.
No, so the miracle that they found it. But why you celebrate 8 days for that? For the fact that they found it, you celebrate 7 days.
Is it counted for all more than one? Because it doesn't lose its...
It shouldn't burn out. It's first. How many ounces for fish? Give me the 100 first.
Because that dropped last Monday. 76.
There are many answers to this question. One of the answers is that they put a little bit in each one of the menorah, a little bit, and that little bit wasn't supposed to last. But each little bit was blessed to stay for the whole full day. So the miracle really was on every day. Because even from the first day, they didn't put enough for a full day. They only put a little bit. And that amount was blessed. One answer, like somebody here say, for the actual finding it, that day was also a miracle. For the actual finding, so that's the first day. And all the other days is the extra 7 days. Also, you should know one thing. That from the halacha, it's enough to light one candle. That's it. A person doesn't have enough oil. Person is in jail. He doesn't have enough candles. He doesn't need 7, 8, you know. He really needs only one. That's it, one. Doesn't have enough for shamash. He doesn't even need shamash. One candle, להדליק נר של חנוכה, על הניסים, first day שהחיינו, that's it. But it's mehudar every day to add another one. Like Bet Shammai say you start 8, 7, 6, 5. Bet Hillel say no, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the mitzvah. And the Sfaradim, they make one menorah, one Chanukiah. The Ashkenazim, according to how many members in a house. Some people light on both sides of the house. If they have a window to this street and a window to the other street, they put on both sides. But originally you need one Chanukiah, one menorah.
It has to be next to the window?
It has to be next to the window. That's the whole thing that the people would see for the miracle. Why? How do you say Greece in Hebrew? Yavan. How do you write Yavan? First is a small line. You take a pencil, you make a little, almost a dot. Then it becomes Vav. It goes down a little more. Then it becomes Nun. It goes down a little more. You want to be a Greek? That's the beginning of your end. Every day you think a little more. Every day until there's no... That's it. It's too late already. By the time you wake up, maybe too late. Shh. After the first ring, all the other people should have known to make sure that the phone will not ring. That's a part of being clever. If you see your friend next to you, his phone starts in the middle of the lecture to ring, what are you supposed to do? Oh, Baruch Hashem, it didn't happen to me. You have to check your phone. Cannot be that it happens 5 times within an hour and nobody understands. What's the whole point of being religious if you don't use your head? I'm sorry for saying this. This is minimum of intelligence. Even Yasser Arafat knew it. Yasser Arafat sat next to Abdul El-Aziz and his phone would go off, Arafat would put his phone off. He would understand. I don't want in the United Nations my phone goes on. Shiur Torah is more important than what they have over there in the politics. You don't want your phone to ring.
Of course. Don't mind my friend. He's a little slow.
Now, shh. Who is Yavan in the Torah? Who is Yavan? Yavan is the 4th son of Yefet. We have Shem, Ham, and Yefet. So Yavan is the grandson of Noach. Yavan, Greeks. Grandson of Noach. How do you call him? Shh. How many sons Yavan has in the Torah? 4 sons. Yavan, yeah. One, his name was Elisha. Not Elishayov, don't worry. Elisha. Elisha today is Cyprus. Where Cyprus is, that's Elisha. Tarshish, that's his 2nd son. Who is Tarshish? the south of Turkey. Those area, that's where Tarshish sat. Then he had another son, his name was Kitit, also a part of Cyprus. Kitim. And Dodanim. Fourth one, Dodanim. It's in the Torah, read in the Torah in Parashat Noach. Where is it? Rhodes. It's an island, Rhodes. The Israel used to like to go there on vacation, Hashem Yerachem. That's before they found out about Las Vegas.
Rhode Island?
Not Rhode Island, Rhodes. It's next to Greek. It's in Hashem Yerachem. Sodom and Gomorrah. I'll tell you a story about the menorah. Maybe you heard that before. It's worth it. What's the story? In the war, after the Nazis lost the war, the Russians and the Americans liberate the camps. They came, they brought food, and there were, hundreds of Jews that left, and they're all very skinny. And then there was a 12-year-old boy started to run in the forest, and an American soldier, which happened to be a Jew, his name is Winiger. He used to live in Manhattan. He's a soldier now in Germany. He followed that Jew. He ran after the Jewish boy. And he saw that the boy runs. The boy is very nervous. So he started to tell to the boy in Yiddish, I'm a Jew also here. I have tzitzit. I'm religious. Relax. I'm not German. So he saw that the boy got to a tree and he started to dig in the ground. He's all very excited. And he took out a big silver menorah. Antique, beautiful menorah that he was hiding in the ground while he was in a camp. So the boy was crying, he got excited, so he told him, what's this? He said, this is the menorah that I have left for my parents. They killed all my family, they took away my home, now I left alone in my world. I'm 12 years old, I don't know what to do. But I have this menorah left. We have it in our family for 200 years, from generation to generation. Now this American Jew, a Jew is a Jew. One of the signs of being a Jew is being merciful. Being merciful. Also having embarrassment in your conscience. When something is wrong, you get embarrassed. If you don't get embarrassed, you're not ashamed, you have to check your roots. Maybe you don't belong to the Jewish nation. Because the Jews, there are three signs about them. Rachmanim, merciful, Baishanim, shy, and Gomle Chasadim. Run to help. Where do you need help? If you have a doubt, stand on the Palisades Parkway anytime during the day with your yarmulke on and pretend you have a flat tire. Every minute, minimum 3 cars will stop begging to help you. If you're missing something, they'll drive to any store nearby to bring the part that you need. If you have kids in a car, they'll take your kids to the house where they're supposed to be. Why? How can I drive knowing my brother is stuck on a highway? This is a sign of Gomle Chasadim. Bringing guests. Now in Israel. Israel is burning, the whole north. Right away, there's a list on the Facebook. It's called Hashem Hu HaMelech. God is the king. In Hebrew, Hashem Hu HaMelech. It's 150,000 members over there. And I had the zchut that I put my videos over there. That's why I know about this list. I checked today. They said, sadly, everyone to pray for all the casualties in the north from the fire. And right away, they opened up a line. All of us opening our houses for people from the north who have to evacuate. And they cannot afford to go to hotels now, especially now when the hotels will be packed. So they don't have where to go. We don't know who they are. My house is open. Come, stay by us, sleep by us. We manage. We don't know you.
Earrings, people.
You understand? What does it mean? That's called Gomle Chasadim. You understand? So the soldier, Winiger, saw that boy. He said, okay, you know what? I can help you by taking you with me to America. I'll adopt you. He said, what's in America? He said, don't worry, nobody will run after you. I'll put you in yeshiva, you learn with Jews, they speak Yiddish, everything will be fine. I raise you. So, what happened in the end? The boy has no choice, he agreed to go. He came to America holding his menorah. He puts the menorah by the window in Vinegar's apartment. And Vinegar has a friend that works for the Museum of Art in Manhattan. One day he visits in a house. As soon as he saw the menorah, he almost fainted. He said, how do you have this antique menorah? It's worth fortune. It's only 6 or 7 like this in the whole world. It's this artist who made it. He knows the whole history of this menorah right away. He said, it's not mine. It belongs to that boy. Call that boy. I want to talk to him. He called up the boy from the room. He said, I will give you now, this is more than 60 years ago, $50,000 check from the museum to buy this menorah from you. It's like millions of dollars. It's like $2-3 million today, if you understand the difference on the money. The boy, now this is, by now he's after bar mitzvah. He's already 13, 14 years old. The boy says to him, no way, I don't sell it. This is my only memory from my mother lighting candle, my mother and my father, and I have to keep it. He said to him, you're going to be a rich man. Look, you're not even 14. This money will be enough for the rest of your life. You're going to do good things with this money. What do you need this menorah for? No, it's the only memory I have for my family. I don't sell it. I don't care about the money. I don't sell it. So, 2 months later, Hanukkah started. He lights first candle, second candle. He's very excited that he lights Hanukkah in this Hanukkah from Germany, you know. And the third day of Hanukkah, when the candles are on by the window, somebody knocks on their door. They open up the door, this Vinegar, you see, an older woman, you know, with Yiddish accent. She says, excuse me, sir, do you mind if I take a close look at this menorah that you have by the window? I say, Vakasha, come. She comes in, she looks at the menorah, she started to shake, she's crying, she's holding it, she can't believe. She says, how do you have this? It used to be mine in Germany. I thought the Nazis stole it. So he said, it's not mine, it belongs to that boy. He called up the boy. He comes out of the room, he looks at the woman, the boy gave such a shout, Mommy! He thought his mother is dead, was sure that she's dead. The mother saw her boy. I don't have to tell you what happened there. Why I'm telling you this story? One thing, it belongs to Hanukkah, this story. It's Nes Hanukkah for the second time. But to learn something about life. Everything in life has a price. Everything in life has a price, which means if the boy would agree to accept the $50,000 and sell the menorah, he will never see his mother for the rest of his life. When a person shows Hashem, he trusts him. I don't care about money. I trust Hashem. Why don't you give me now millions of dollars? Hashem has a problem to give it to me 2 years from now when I need it. Don't we say 3 times a day in אשרי יושבי ביתך, פותח את ידיך ומשביע לכל חי רצון, ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם בעיתו, in the right timing. That's the whole ness. Not that he's feeding us. He's feeding the bugs, the elephant, the Indians, everyone. He's feeding us also. In the best timing, just when your daughter needs to get married, a week before all the miracles begin. Just when you have to marry your son, boom, pings, photographer, this for free, this gmach, that. What's going on? A week ago I didn't know where to start. Everything is ready, include the 7th day of Sheva Brachot. Everything is done. Why? Hashem keeps the miracles for the right timing. So if the boy would take the money, he wouldn't see her. Hashem saw, even though the decree was made, the decree is sealed. Hashem decreed on that boy to lose his family for the rest of his life. But when he did such a thing, Hashem reversed his decision. He ripped the Gzar Din, and he made his mother pass on the street, and the rest is history. He got back his mother. If he would sell it, he would never know. that because he received the money and sold the memory of his family, thanks to that he lost his family for good. He got them back when he showed Hashem, you know what, my mother is more important than money. So Hashem changed his plan, he gave it back to him. We have other cases like this, that there is a decree, and with something good that we do, we can reverse it. I'll give you a few examples. The Seder Adorot, the book Seder Adorot, is giving a story about Rabbi Meir. You know Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, Eloha de Rabbi Meir Aneni, one of the important Tanaim. Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, like many other Tanaim, knew the language of the animals. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, the Gemara say, knew the language of the animals. Shlomo HaMelech knew the language of the animals. Hillel HaZaken knew the language. There's many Tanaim who knew the language of the animals. The language of the angels, the language of the trees. Interesting how much the Torah has to offer. One day you see two snakes speaking between one to another. They're speaking together. One of them say, today I was ordered by Hashem to go and kill this person. What's his name? His name is Yehuda. Not Yehuda Maccabi. Yehuda Antoti. That's his name. I don't know where he got his name from, but that's his name. Why I have to kill him? Because he's stingy. Hashem doesn't like him. He's stingy. He doesn't give tzedakah. His time has come today. Rabbi Meir heard that. Right away found out where this Yehuda live. He ran to his house. Open. Yes. I need money. Help me out. If he tells him, if you don't give me money, you're going to die, of course he'll give. Doesn't want to tell him. He wants to make him give. Give me, please. He put a whole show for him. In the end, he gave 15 cents. He said, no, not enough. Give something good. Rabbi, business is bad. In the end, he got something out of him. Then the snake came. He comes out, he sees the snake arrive to the house. Rabbi Meir said to the snake, I don't know in what language he told him, Russian, Persian, Bukharian, I don't know what snake was that. It was a Nachash Arsi, that's for sure. So, he told him, you have no permission to touch him. So he said to him, Hashem sent me. What do you mean no permission? It's a decree from heaven. He said, no, he gave tzedakah. The decree was based on him not giving tzedakah. Look how much money he gave. You cannot touch him. The snake went and killed himself. Before he killed himself, the snake said, what kind of world is this? That there is a decree from the court of heaven and somebody down here has the power to cancel it. והתחתונים באים ומבטלים את הגזרה. This is a mashal, an analogy. You see, the decree is sealed. A person gives tzedakah, everything can be reversed. That's one of the only things, by the way, that can change a sealed verdict. If there's a verdict against a person, lo aleinu, that in that day is going to die, a minute before he did a big act of tzedakah, everything can turn around. A second before. Second after, it's too late already. Second before, it's still possible. Now I want to tell you one last thing and we're finished. And then if you have questions, fine. The three sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Yefet, we came from Shem. That's why someone who hates the Jews, his name is anti-Semite, anti-Shemi, because we are from Shem. The Torah said that the 3 sons of Noah spread all over the world. It's very interesting. The Jews and the Arabs came out of Shem. How is the writing of the Jews and the Arabs from right to left? The children of Yefet, in English Jeff, Yefet means Yofi, beauty, went to the area of Europe. United States came out of Europe also. So this is all descendants of Yefet. How their language is from left to right. In Europe and over here, it's from left to right. The descendants of, so remember, Shem from right to left. Yefet from left to right. And the children of Ham, that most of them went to China, their writing are from up to down. Each one of the sons of Noah has a different thing unique about his writing. From right to left, from left to right, from up to down. The more you learn, the more impressed you are from the beauty of the Torah. There's a lot more to say, but I don't want to keep you here all night. If you have any questions before we finish, about Hanukkah, about different things, any questions? Again, yeah?
We have halacha that if you go to someone else's house, in order to, or you to be outside on his mitzvah, you have to give him a quarter.
You give him a quarter to participate in the cost of the oil.
Now, does everybody in the family give the owner, the Baal Bayit, a quarter, or just
everyone in the family? You mean his children?
Yeah,
no, his children. No, his children are yotze with the father's mitzvah. But if they go to somebody else, stranger, or even it can be an uncle or anybody, but not the father of the house, then he has to give him something, can be anything, 10 cents, quarter, whatever it is, to participate in the cost of the candles.
And that quarter is only for one candle or for?
It's for all the candles, as many candles as it is.
So now when he goes home and this Baal Bayit is lighting the candles, would it have anything, would it help him with his mitzvah as well, or?
No, if you participate somewhere else, you stay there half an hour, then you can go, you don't have to stay there.
Now I'm home, if I still have ownership in a piece of his oil, I gave him that quarter.
Yeah, but he already lit that oil.
Right.
Yeah. He have a part of the mitzvah, but the mitzvah is over. After half an hour, the oil was burned.
And the next day?
The next day you have to give again.
Again?
Yeah. Unless if you make a condition that you give him for all 8 days that are coming. You give him $2. You say this is for the oil for the entire week.
So even if I go home and
yeah, but you have to be by him and hear him saying the bracha. You have to answer amen and stay next to the candle for at least half an hour. That's the mitzvah. Yes. Excuse me? Some of his children went to Africa, yes. But Ham had 4 sons. One was Mitzrayim, one was Put, one was Canaan, and one was Cush. Cush is Africa. Mitzrayim is Egypt, where we're next to Israel already. I don't know, it's Asia, I don't know what you call it. But many of them went to China, to the area of China, to the east. Yes.
There's a question.
Yes.
You said before that with the question with the 7 candles and the nest, you said there's a lot of answers. Can you tell me all of them?
To say all of them?
There's a few of them.
I say 2 answers of them. 2 answers I said already, but there's many. I have to go review what all the poskim say, but there's many different answers to this question. One of them, you remember what I said? You remember the 2 that I answered?
Yeah, the one that you all count as holy.
Yeah, that they put a little bit in everything, and everyone was blessed to stay longer than what's supposed to. One was that the first day they're finding the oil, and then the rest. One other reason is that it took 8 days to make new oil. Took 8 days. 8 days. Why it was whole 8 days? Because that's the period of time that it takes to make oil. You know, there's all kinds of answers. We have to refresh my memory. Yeah. Well, we're only putting from right to left, but we're lighting from left to right. We're making the order from right to left, but we're lighting from left to right.
question.
Because we always light from left to the right side, to the positive. We go to the positive side, because right is mercy and left is judgment. Why are we adding an extra candle every day? Because we have to light the candle that we added. This is the new candle. So on the first day we put one on the right side, because we want to start with the right side. Now we put another candle also on the right side, but we start from the left because this is the new candle. We have to start from the extra candle and then we go to the other one, because the other one is not so important.
Question, Rabbi.
Yes.
What year did we discover fire?
Adam, as soon as he was born, as soon as he was created on Friday, the next day, Shabbat evening, Motzei Shabbat, he discovered fire. That's why we do Avdalah, Borei Meorei Ha'esh. So 24 and a half hours, 25 and a half hours after Adam was created, he already had fires.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
That situation with the stick and the cotton is baloney.
No, he took 2 stones and Hashem gave him the wisdom to make sparks and to make fire, and from then he didn't need anymore to shut the fire, because he was taking from one fire to another. Once you have a bucket full of fire, you take from here, you make another one, and another one, and another one. And whenever it's running out, you add oil and you take from here to here. Because fire, remember, fire was also light. There's no other way. You have to...
Then the pirates came, they invented the magic.
Yeah.
Question. I know usually like during Passover, if somebody does Passover, there's like Pesach Sheni.
Yes.
So some poskim say that if you miss the Shabbat, right?
You miss what?
If you miss Rosh Hashanah, is today considered like Rosh Hashanah Sheni?
There's no Rosh Hashanah Sheni. You miss Rosh Hashanah, you miss your whole year. Hashem Yirachem. I cannot hear, there's noise. Tshuva you can do every given moment of your life. But it's more productive if you do it from Rosh Chodesh Elul to Yom Kippur, these 40 days. And it's better in the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
What about the seal? Like, is it like...
Sealed is end of Yom Kippur. Neilah, Tfilat Neilah, it's the last hour of Yom Kippur, that's when it's sealed. And then on Hoshana Rabbah, the execution takes place. But doesn't mean it cannot be before or after. You understand? It can still be before or after.
Rabbi, you said Jews should not contribute to places like clubs and stuff like that. I agree. How about a wedding, mixed wedding?
Not allowed to step there.
Somebody invites you.
Not allowed to step inside a mixed wedding. It's a very big tragedy for Hashem. When 2 Jews get married in a very not modest way, that guys and girls get together and dance not modestly and touch each other and eat without bracha, and a person who loves Hashem goes to participate with them, he loses a lot in his life. There's a very heavy price to pay for it.
Your relatives invite you, and usually like money.
Relatives are important, but Hashem is much more important. Remember this. Much more important than your father, than your mother, than your grandfather, than your kids, than anybody in the world, than the chief rabbi of the world. Hashem is above everything. And Hashem, Elokim soneh zima. Mix, parties bring tragedies to our children. There's more accidents, there's more cancer. Every minute there's a new Jew who gets cancer in the world. Every minute. And that's because of the way the women dress. And that's because of the sins that guys and girls mix together. That's because of all the dirty phone calls. That's because of the Facebook connections and all the drugs and the alcohol and all the problems around. That brings all these tragedies to us.
Mr. Rabbi made this law or the God made
No, the Torah. It's in the Torah. Elokim soneh zima v'ra'a becha ervat davar v'shav me'acharecha. Every place there's no holiness, Hashem runs away from this place. Mixed wedding, HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't visit there. All the blessing is gone. Don't be surprised why 70-something% of these mixed weddings ended up with divorce within 4 years. Why? Because there's a curse there. You see, Hashem said to get married. You have to get married because I said. And I say to get married this way. And you want to do it your way, you rebel against me. All the people who dance, who pays the price for all of them? The Khatan, the Kala, the parents that pay for the wedding, and the DJ. The DJ is the worst. DJs have a special place in Gehenom for them ready, for being Mahtiye Arabim. DJs who make mixed parties, not kosher DJs. I know a DJ, I'll tell you a story. You know, I'm glad you asked me this question. One time I met a DJ that was the hottest DJ in New York State. He was in 6th Avenue. There used to be a big club. That was 15 years ago.
What's his name?
3,000. I don't want to say his name to the camera. I need to ask him permission. But he was the hottest DJ in New York. He used to get paid 15 years ago, $2,000 an evening. It's like $5,000 today an evening. They used to fly him in private airplanes to Puerto Rico, to Miami, to make a party, and they fly him that night back to New York. I don't want to tell you his lifestyle. He was a young guy, maybe 18, 19, 20 years old, not more than that. And he was raised in America. I think he was born in Israel, but since he's a kid, he was raised in America. And what happened is, when I started to show him the sin that he makes, when all these Jews come on Shabbat to the club and make sins because of him, with the drugs, what happened in the club, with his music, he realized. So then he said to me, but if I quit this job, what can I do in my life? I don't know anything. I hardly know how to write. I never went to school. I don't have education. What do you want me to do? To drive a taxi for $400 a week when I make $2,000 a night? I told him, money, it's Hashem's decision. You have to know that Hashem, if Hashem sees that you're serious and you listen to him and you stop being Mahtiye Arabim, for sure, if he wants to give you money, he has no problem giving you money. He doesn't need you to be a wicked DJ to give you money. You understand? The murderer that goes and kills for $20,000 a night, every night he kills somebody else, he thinks, oh, if I wouldn't be a killer, I wouldn't be so rich. He's a fool. Because if Hashem wanted him to be rich, he would be rich sleeping in bed all year. If Hashem doesn't want him to be rich, he will never be rich. Nothing will help him. He's thinking, because I'm a thief, I make that money. Because I'm a murderer, I make that money. Because I'm a DJ, I make the money. Beloni. They can make as much as money, and tomorrow his boy has cancer, and he has to spend $600,000 to surgeons to fly them in to Israel, to Russia, to bring all kinds of equipment. Why? Because, you know, who knows, you know, you have to get the best doctors. Money comes and goes. It's nonsense. So I told him, trust Hashem. It will be difficult in the beginning, but you'll see. Why don't you be a DJ for Jewish parties, I told him, for weddings, bar mitzvah. So I told me, I don't know one Jewish song. I'm just becoming religious now. You're making me religious. You're telling me to be a DJ. I don't know one song. I told him in the beginning, when he started to be a DJ here, he also didn't know any song, no? 2, 6, 7 months, you learn the songs, you be a DJ in a party. I got him out of there. I brought him to yeshiva in Monsey. I knew the Torah is the only thing that can change a person. He's sitting in yeshiva, the Rosh Yeshiva comes to me and say, are you normal? Why are you bringing me this guy? Why do I need him in my yeshiva? He sits there, do nothing. He doesn't know how to read. He doesn't read Hebrew. He doesn't belong there. We're paying him for food. We're paying him for bed. I told him, the Stipler say that in this generation, the yeshivot is not only to make people rabbis. It's to protect them from the cancer on the streets. It's enough that he sits inside the yeshiva. That's already a very big mitzvah. He's saving him for who knows how many. Especially when I told him what kind of DJ he is. By the way, I never heard a beep from him anymore. So yeah, let him stay here instead of making thousands of Jews make sins. So he stays in the yeshiva for a few months. Poor guy, cannot learn anything. Reads a little bit Tehillim. In the end, one day he left the yeshiva and he went to be a taxi driver. $400 a week. That's all he knows. He knows how to drive. 2 or 3 years later, I already went to a different yeshiva, maybe 5 years later. One day I come to a wedding. I usually never goes to wedding, maybe once or twice a year. I don't have time, you know, I'm busy in the evenings. I go to a wedding in Monsey. I see who is the DJ. Well, I come to the guy, the Khatan. How much you paid him for the night? $1,200 a night. Well, almost like he used to make. But now, not only it's kosher, every second is a mitzvah. He still makes it, drive a nice fancy car. Thinks it's fine. He's not a taxi driver anymore. The idea is a person must trust Hashem, that Hashem told us to do A, B, C, D, and that's what we have to do. Doesn't matter what happened in the meantime. I lost money, I'm not as happy as I was. Some people say, yeah, but when I became religious, I'm not as happy as I used to be. You used to live in imagination. People who take drugs also think they're happy. And what's their end? Forget about these hallucinations and imaginations. It makes me happy, it makes me upset. This is not important. There is a boss to the creation, and he made us, and he gave us Torah, and this is what we have to do. Finished. Doesn't matter. We make, we lose, we get married, we don't get married, we have children. All these things is not important. There's only one thing important. This is what Hashem told me to do, and this is what I must do. And if I fail, I have to try again, and I have to regret that I failed, and I have to try better and harder until I'm going to be a tzaddik. And the rest is all baloney. We don't care now. It's not important. But I'm single. Hashem didn't want you to be married. Why? Ask him when you go there. Right now you have to listen to him. If I get married, I promise you I'll be a tzaddik. You want, Rabbi, if I was smart like this guy, also I would go to yeshiva. But look at my head. It's worse than this wood. I cannot learn. Baloney. I knew a guy like this. 3 years he sits in a shiur, doesn't understand one word. Everyone who comes to the yeshiva after 2-3 weeks become better than him. Everyone who he wants to learn with, run away from him. Oh, I'm going to sit with this guy, I waste my whole month. In the end, one day his brain opened up and became the star of the yeshiva. All these 3 years, up, explosion. You never know. Kids that used to be not so smart, when they get older, they're serious, they're consistent in the Torah, they become big rabbis. Bright, shining, sharp brains used to be killers in yeshiva. You see them, they become chilonim. 25, 30 years old, cigarettes, earring, goya, goes to a club. Used to be the star of the yeshiva. You never know. The kids that you think, look, they don't learn anything. Like this Yankele from the story. You heard that story or no?
No, tell us.
You're not listening to my website? What's happening here? Okay, we'll finish with that story. One guy gets a phone call that his son Yankele is making problem in school. So he said to the Rebbe, no, so what can I do? He said, your son cannot come anymore to learn in our yeshiva. Either you find him a different place, or if you want him to come learn here, you have to buy him a pill. What is the pill? Ritalin. It would numb him in a class, he would sleep very well, and everybody else will be able to learn. So the guy said to the Rebbe, hey, but it's very expensive. It's not covered by the health insurance in Israel. He said, it's your problem, not mine. You make sure you get the money one way or the other. Because without it, he doesn't come to school. Who's going to give him the medicine, he said? My wife and I leave at 6:30 in the morning. He only wake up at 7. He said, that's no problem. You give me the medicine. When he come to class, I'll give it to him. So the father said, what do you mean? Everyone will see that you give him the pill? You want to ruin our reputation? He said, no, I'm not a fool. I'm going to send him to make me coffee after davening, shachrit in the morning. And I'll tell him, I'll put the medicine in the closet. And I'll tell him every day, you take one. Okay, the father bought it, he gave it to the Rebbe, that's the end of the story. Then, a week later, no more phone calls. The Rebbe didn't call this week. Yankele House School, pretty good. Next week, no phone calls. Like this, 2 months. After 2 months, the father decided that it's too good to believe. Cannot be my son, 2 months, did not make problem, cannot be. So he comes to his son, he said, tell me the truth. Did he kick you out of school? He said, no, I'm going to school every day. Show me your homework, show me your test. He said, school is good? He said, great. You learning good? Yes, look. The class is learning good? Perfect. Is the Rebbe nice to you? He's a very nice man. He never gave you a punishment in the last 2 months, nothing. The Rebbe is in a good mood, perfect mood. So, you know what? I don't buy it. This kid learned how to lie pretty good. Let's call the Rebbe, we confirm. Call up the Rebbe. Tell me, how is Yankele? He say, he's mamash an angel. Told you, you buy him this medicine, everyone is happy. He's happy, he's learning, the class is learning, no more jokes. I'm happy, everyone is happy. He say, Yankele, you taking the pill every day? He said, what do you mean taking the pill? Every day I make him coffee and I put one in his coffee. Now the father went crazy. He wants the Rebbe to pay for the medicine. Next time when we see each other, I'll tell you who has to pay, the Rebbe or the father of the boy. Because each one of them say, the father say, you made me buy it for no reason. And the Rebbe say, I never told you to buy it for me. So now they're arguing in court. The next time we will see what was the verdict. Thank you very much. Chanukah Sameach.